Good day, everyone. Welcome back for another interview on the Obstacle Racing Media channel. Today, we've got a great catch up with Adrian Bijanada, founder of the OCR World Championships. Now, would you believe this big Red Bull announcement happened right after we recorded this? So they were clearly still working on this when we talked, so we don't talk about the Red Bull thing, but we do have a great catch up anyway. And it starts with me asking Adrian how he's keeping up with the scene today and if he in fact watched the Spartan Games. Let's go to Adrian. Away we go.
Did you watch the Spartan Games?
No.
Did you watch any of it?
Piecemeal. I mean, honestly, I'm so ingrained in it that like sometimes when it comes time to relax, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is go. It took me a long time to even watch the OCRWC when we televised our event. Like, I didn't watch it right when it dropped. I watched the preview, and then like to actually sit down and watch it on TV, it just made me like, I don't know, makes me nervous or cringe. I don't know.
No, I get it. You want to turn off work. I have the same issue because when I get home, I put on YouTube videos and sometimes I'll start watching not OCR stuff, but even trail stuff. And then it gets me thinking about videos I want to make. And it's like, well, now when am I relaxing? So
like you feel like you can't turn your brain off, and that's a problem. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the point is they showed it was a short course. So you've got 800 meters, let's say, right? 3 laps.
Yep.
10, 12 obstacles in the middle. Short course. I mean, that's the best way to call it. They're calling it Spartan Cross. Not sure it's a good name. They're thinking
it's not DecaFit. It's not the Deca thing?
My point exactly.
Okay. All right.
DecaFit is an indoor event.
Okay. So this is Deca outdoors? I don't know.
No, but you're proving my point. This is like a setup for proving my point. This is basically imagine just running through the festival area of Spartan, and that's it. You don't go off in the woods. So you do the Hercoist, you do the spear, you like exactly like that short course in Vermont that year. You were there that year, right?
I wasn't there, but I heard about it. I followed
it. So that mythical video finally made its way. Quitgo made one, and somebody else made one. And we had to sneak because you weren't allowed to film it. And Hunter won for the men, and Cassidy won for the women. And so that's essentially.
I remember that. I think that event was the same day as Bone Frog in Staten Island. And I think I told Brian Carney I'd help him out at Bone Frog in Staten Island. So I remember hearing about it that day. I think somebody called me, maybe it was like Alex or something like that, and said, "Hey, this thing just happened in Vermont. It's pretty cool." And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm trying to MC a Bone Frog event, which
right. And since then they have tried a couple of other things. Like remember when the whole Olympics thing came up and they were going to add the laser gun. And so they did a couple of Friday night short course things. I remember, was it Asheville one year? They did a Friday night short course. Anyhow, so Spartan Cross, again, like it's got the word cross in it, which means CrossFit. They're thinking it like cross country, like cross countries, like can be like 3 laps of a thing.
Yeah.
And so
I think of it as cyclocross.
Right. Cyclocross. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. So anyhow, they just launched this thing. And so you're going to have to, I guess I gave you and your team more work because there's going to have to be a qualification thing, right? Like it's going to qualify you for the 3K maybe.
Well, no, I mean, right now we're only doing qualification for our pro heats, right? There just are not enough events that are happening in any reliable format or consistent or frequency that we're adding qualification back for age groups. Like we'll do it for pro heats, absolutely. But until we get back to quote normal.
Right. But this is a 3K event, so it would serve as a qualifier if you allow it to for the 3K.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Apparently, according to Dave Watson, who's the VP of sport or whatever his title is, they're going to put, he was vague intentionally, but basically it's going to be bigger than US National Series. So I'm guessing that's where their money is going to shift. Basically is what it sounded like. And my first thought was the pros will hate it because they seem to hate Spartan always changing their mind. But if you're like a short course specialist, that's probably could be for you, right? Like if endurance isn't your thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the CrossFit crowd moves over to it as well.
Well, I don't think so. I think they'd be more likely to do DECA. DECA is exercising. It's not this is more like Ninja Warrior, or even remember the Battle Frog short course? That's another one. Remember that TV show?
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was in your hometown filmed, I think, in Atlanta, right?
Well, the first year was Florida. The second year was Atlanta.
Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier. Were you there?
No, I just remember.
Okay, Lake Lanier.
Yep.
And I remember it was the same year that we had started, writing not so great things about Battle Frog. So I went up there to visit and was like, hoping
shortly before the Mod Truss drama.
That's you're gonna have to explain that. That's another thing.
Yeah, no, that was tied up in it. I'm not gonna get into it, but that was the Mod Truss got tied up in.
No, I was talking about they had a super unsafe event here with like a massive creek crossing, and the water was rushing like crazy, and they had no lifeguard, and it was like, this is crazy.
No, I was referencing the
right. Mod Trust was a lawsuit from people that they stole the designs from or something.
Yep. Yeah, they used, I don't know, that's the equipment they used, right?
Not really that important. Anyhow, this is what the Spartan Cross sounds like it's going to be. But let's talk about your event.
Yeah.
Your event was set to be September 24th of 2020, and then when COVID happened, it got moved ahead to what it is now, which is October 3rd, which is
no. It was
the other way around. It was the first weekend in October.
September 23rd to the 26th now. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to pick the last viable weekend in September. That's it. And then last year it didn't happen because of the world falling apart. And we pushed it back.
And it happens to be the same weekend that Spartans is, by nobody's fault, from my humble opinion.
Yeah,
nobody intentionally wanted to schedule their event.
I mean, I think, I don't think anything's intentional. I think it's a bummer for any company, when you have two companies that are utilizing the same weekend. It's not ideal. It's even worse if you're an athlete and you have to pick, right? But let's be honest, we're talking about limited weekends at this point, right? So 52 weekends in a year. And I think scheduling venues, it's obligations, conflicts on other events, it's bound to happen. I'm not pissed about it. I'm not upset. I mean, honestly, if we can only hope that everything gets back to normal where our biggest problem is too many races and not enough weekends, right? If we get back to that where it's so many races are overlapping and this weekend has 4 Spartans and 2 Savage races and whatever else, awesome, great. That's a problem I would love to have right now.
There's a potential solution to the championship weekend that was suggested to me by some pros, which I think is great, which is Spartan could move their championship to Sunday, which they have had before. They've had many races on Sunday, and they could race OCRWC Friday and Saturday and get on a plane. But I don't think Spartan's going to move, but it would be a really smart move because from what I can tell, the top pros all said OCRWC, and the massive amount of Instagram comments in general said OCRWC. And it's not because they're just loyal. It's not if it's on Ryan Atkins' wall, he's agnostic. He doesn't. So you know what I'm saying? It's not just if you posted which one you're going to go to, everyone's going to say your race. If a racer says it, then right.
Yeah. I also think I do differentiate our event to Spartan, right? I just do because we are our event. We have 5 races in one day. So ours is a little bit more, and I'm trying to tread lightly because I'm not trying to be badmouth any race out there, but I think there's a differentiation between the two, right? Spartan will produce a great event. Tahoe is awesome. It'll be a very, very solid race. No question, right? We have 4 days of consecutive racing it tends to have a little bit more of like a celebratory feel, which is what we go for. And I think after what everyone's gone through with COVID and politics and just the exhaustion that comes from that, I think people are looking for like a big celebration, like a reunion, right? Like that's what we're going for. Like it's a relaunch or a rebirth for our sport. Like you've said it before, like Ohio was like Woodstock. Actually, while we're in Ohio, I think you said, hey, this is like the Woodstock of OCR, right? So it's going to be like that, but better.
I said that. That sounds like a great quote. I hope I did say that.
No, or maybe you said it to me on the phone when I was like feeling blue one day or frustrated about something.
Right.
We have athletes from 70 plus nations. Like, I'm not trying to hype it, but we're gonna have like fireworks, some parade of nations, like after parties. It's I don't know. It's like we're like more of a festival and like reunion again than just a single race. So.
Yeah, Josh and I talked about this, and we know how much Josh loves your weekend. He's never missed one, I don't think, or did he skip one of the England weekends? I can't remember.
Maybe one of the England.
So I went to the 2 in Ohio and I went to one of the Canada. I didn't go to England. I'll definitely be in Vermont this year if it happens. And we were talking about this, and your weekend and World's Toughest Mudder weekend have a similar vibe in that way. It's everybody together. It's we haven't seen you in a year and from all over the world, and there just isn't anything like that. I've been to Killington and I've been to Tahoe for Spartan Worlds, and it's just different. You know, you get some of that, but it doesn't quite feel the same, and you can't put your finger on it. It's just not.
Yeah. I'd say like our event is like it's the byproduct of a lot of work, care about the sport. Like we're producing one.
No, you were scratchy and then you disappeared.
Sorry. No, like I'd say on our event, like we are like the byproduct of like a very small, not small, but a group of very passionate people, right? We produce one event a year. We aren't out there trying to churn through events every weekend. A lot of people care a lot about the sport and a lot about the event and a lot about the athletes come together and they pour their heart into it, right? Like whether that's Brett or Sid or Bobby or Rachel Ann or any number of people, right? Like that's what we do. Like I think that shows in the experience that we deliver. Like I'm not trying to sound cheesy about it, but like it's the truth. Like we're not.
All right, we were talking about what a love fest it is, and you said it's because of the people that put a lot of heart and soul behind it, and it shows, and people feel it, and they keep coming back, and so I agree.
Yeah, like it's our single focus for the year, and it's people that care about the experience. That's it.
You did a North American event, and it looked like it was probably too hard to support both, at least now. Will there be, when things get back to normal, are you thinking in a couple years, like, okay, we couldn't do a North American if the race is in America, but North America will come back when it goes somewhere else, or will there be a European version? Have you thought about that stuff?
We think about it, but not like it's really just focus on OCRWC. So we think about it, we talk about it, like we always get people who send us ideas, and some of them I tend to run with, and then I talk to some of my friends and partners, and they're like, listen, like don't forget, like we are committed to delivering the best event in OCR history. So anything that takes away from that is just noise at this point. I don't think it will bring back, I don't think we'll launch more events just because it takes away from the enjoyment of focusing on one. Does that make any sense? Like with one, it's manageable for my lifestyle, it's manageable for my friends and everyone that contributes. And that means we like doing it, right? as you add more and you take on more, it comes with obligations and responsibilities. And when you add those things up, like, it starts to feel more and more like work. and I think when you do that, not good.
What if a giant sponsor stepped up to the plate? What if it was like Snickers wants to present the North American Obstacle Racing Championship, and here's a giant check to help you do it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, everyone's always tempted. Like, it's always tempting to chase more money, or like, you know, or like glory or something like that. But like, I don't know, like, I'm at a point in my life where, like, you know, I still have my day job. I've got my wife, my son, like, and I've got OCR WC that I love, right? So maybe I'm a little bit risk adverse on like adding more events, and then I start to sour on it, which I never want to do. But I don't know, like, it'd have to be a lot. It would have to be a lot.
Thank you, as always, for watching. Be sure to subscribe to these videos. We actually do a lot of live. We do an awful lot of live watch parties when these things launch, so that's always fun. Be sure to get in on those. And also, go ahead and follow us in all the places to follow us. And you can join the Patreon. That's right. Give us a couple dollars. You get exclusive access to things like deciding which guests we're going to air next, and early exclusive content, and sometimes stuff that's just for you guys. And it's a great community. We've got our own Facebook. We've got our own Facebook. We've got our own Discord. And when we hit 200, it's going to be pretty awesome. Remember, this weekend is Jacksonville, so you're going to want to keep it tuned here. We're going to have all kinds of great content. Love you. Miss you. Mean it. I got to run.